Webheads, this summer we have comic book events coming out of our ears. I want to know which ones you're most excited about reading, or are you excited at all? Hey, all my webheads out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, I am your host, Mike Spider Slayer, always helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the big comic book summer blockbuster. That's right, guys. Every year we have these events, and it just seems like we're getting more and more events. But I'm going to be talking about what's coming out, and I want to know in the comments below which ones you're going to be most excited about, if not any of these comic events, right? So we're going to go through them, and we're going to talk about their release dates, and I'm going to let you guys know which one I'm excited about. So before we get started, guys, why don't you consider giving this video a like, a subscribe, and hitting that bell, because if you do, it helps you enter in my road to 10K comic giveaway. That's right, guys. And then all you have to do after that is just comment on this video, and then this could be the video that wins you all those great prizes. All right, so now let's not waste any more time. Let's talk about the big summer blockbusters when it comes to these comic events coming out. All right, so the first one we're going to talk about is Heroes Reborn. This has been announced for a long time. People know that this has been coming out. This is kind of like a rehash of the old Heroes Reborn back in the later 90s. People loved it. This time around, it's coming back, and supposedly, we have the Squadron Supreme that's taking place of the Avengers. The Avengers are gone. You're going to get a lot of books that kind of copy DC. Like, this is like Marvel's version of the DC characters we know. So I don't know what that's all about, but that's kind of what's going on there. And so you have the main event, again, that's being released in May. It's issues 1 through 6, and then you get all these little side stories, right? You get all these little tie-ins or one-shots and whatnot. So that's Heroes Reborn. It doesn't sound like the event from the actual 90s. It's just a title. How many of you guys are excited about this particular one? What are you going to buy when it comes to the Heroes Reborn? Are you going to buy all the tie-in books? Are you going to buy just the main book? Are you buying any of those books? Let me know in the comments below. When it comes to Heroes Reborn, for me, I don't think I'm going to bother with any of the tie-ins or the one-shots except that have to do with the Spider family. So I think we have the SpiderMan one where Peter Parker is like Jimmy Olsen, and then you have the other one where it's Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider, how she's like Batgirl. So I think those are the two that I might get in just the main series. I have no interest. I don't have really that much expectations when it comes to this event just in general. So we'll see what happens with it. All right, so let's talk about the next thing. The next thing is another Marvel event. Now, again, most of these are all Marvel things going on, right? And this takes place of the X line. Now, we know it by now. We have the X Gala event, the dinner party that's taking place through every single title of the X book for 1 month. And you're also getting a couple of extra issues like planet-size X-Men and whatnot. And here we've been solicited with all kinds of different costumes and things like that. Now, I want to know if you guys are interested in this. What is this dinner party? We kind of briefly saw something like this in the Ten of Swords when you were reading it. And a lot of people reading Ten of Swords were definitely disappointed with that series. I didn't mind it too much. But after reading Ten of Swords, I think people are kind of like, man, if we got this crazy goofball stuff in Ten of Swords, what's going to happen with this X Gala event? We can spend like 12 issues at a dinner party, or 12 issues introducing the new X-Men team. Like, how exciting is that going to be? Well, let's flip it a little bit. Maybe they want you to think that it's going to be goofy or it's going to be a dinner party, and this becomes a much more serious event as time goes along. could be completely wrong here. Like, what happens if Sabretooth comes back, right? We haven't seen the character in such a long time. What happens if he breaks through and, you know, it ignites the next big X event that's going to happen, and it takes place during this dinner party? So it's like, is it worth skipping because you got to buy all those titles? Or am I looking too deep into it and it is just a dinner party? Like, am I going to get burned? And so that's why I'm so on the fence when it comes to this event alone, because I don't know if they're going to play you for a fool and it's just going to be a whole bunch of nothing, or it's going to lead into something spectacular. And so that's why I'm just weighing in my options here, right? So I want to know in the comments below, again, are you guys actually going to read this event at all? Are you reading some of it? I don't think you can read some of it without buying all the issues. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I want to know if you're going to buy it, and I want to know if you think I should read this, you know, or if I should cover it here on the channel. All right, let's move on. Next is the Spider-Man event. This one is the Amazing Spider-Man, the Chameleon Conspiracy. All right, so this is a book that takes place through quite a few issues. Spider-Man has gone weekly at this point, okay? And it takes place in Amazing Spider-Man issue 67, which is released on June 2nd. Amazing Spider-Man issue 68, which is released on June 9th. Amazing Spider-Man issue 69, which is June 23rd. And then you have the giant size Amazing Spider-Man Chameleon Conspiracy issue 1 on June 30th. So if you're a webhead like me, are you excited about the Chameleon Conspiracy? I am not, because it has been written by Nick Spencer, and I'm just not a huge fan of his Spider-Man. And I feel like the last time the Chameleon was in a Spider-Man story that Nick Spencer wrote, I didn't feel it had any added weight to it. So even though I'm not a fan of Chameleon, I am still going to read this because I'm a hardcore, die-hard Spider-Man fan, and we'll see what Nick Spencer has to offer here. I don't know why we have to stall with the whole Kindred situation or whatever's going on here, and why are we doing it weekly? I'm sure every issue is going to be $4. I'm not excited about it, but I am going to buy it because I'm a hardcore fan. Like I said, I can't deny Spider-Man. Anybody in the comments below are going to say, well, just drop it, Mike. It's okay to drop it. I can't. Look at what's behind me. Spider-Man is the first character I read, and it's probably first character you read too. Like, who isn't Spider-Man? You know, there's a lot of people out there that love Marvel Comics where Spider-Man's always going to be their favorite character, no matter what, the thick or the thin. It's like me being a Miami Dolphins fan, right? I'm a Dolphins fan through the thick and the thin. They sucked for so many years. I'm so pissed off at it, but they're finally starting to get a little bit better again, and then maybe things will pay off. That's the way I'm looking at it when it comes to the Amazing Spider-Man, right? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what Chameleon has to offer there with his little suit and all his little costumes and shit like that. We'll see what happens there with the Amazing Spider-Man. All right, what's next? So the next thing that we have that is on Marvel's table is called Infinite Destiny. So the Infinity Gems or Stones, whatever you want to call it, is back in play once again. And it looks like, I think, the Stones choose their wielder. And what this series or this event does is it takes place through all the annuals of your favorite Marvel superhero comics, right? So in June, it starts and takes place in Iron Man Annual Issue 1, okay? And it has different guest stars. So Quantum is in that particular issue, right? Captain America Annual Issue 1, that has overtime in it. Black Cat Annual Issue 1, right, has the Tiger Division, okay? So you get to see my point there. In July, you have Amazing Spider-Man Annual Issue 2, right? That's guest stars Star. You have Thor Annual Issue 1, which the guest star is classified. You have Guardians of the Galaxy issue 1, which has Prince of Power. What is that? Freaking Adam from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And then you have Avengers Annual issue 1, which is also classified. So all these books take place in their annuals, and you're also going to have the Infinity Score, which is part 1 and part 2, which takes place in Black Cat issue 8 and 9. So a lot of this has to do with the Black Cat character, which personally, out of everything that I just read to you previously, this is the thing that I'm most looking forward to. I know it's all different books and it's annuals, and it's probably like $5 an annual or whatnot, but I always like stories about the Infinity Stones or gems, no matter how many times you've told that story. And this is an event that focuses around Black Cat, and you don't see many events around her. And also, she's been written very well lately by Jed MacKay. So again, I'm excited about all of that and seeing all these different characters involved. So far out of all these events from Marvel, I am most looking forward to this one. All right, so what's last but not least? We've been talking all about Marvel, but then there's been nothing about DC Comics. Well, as far as I know, DC only has one event that's going on in the summertime, and that is Infinite Frontier. Reason being is they just basically restarted their universe once again. I know we have a lot of new titles coming out. You know, you got Batman continuing and things like that, but if you're following Infinite Frontier, this is the series that you're going to want to read. We most recently got the Zero issue in the beginning of March or late February, and now coming in June, we have issue 1 being released when it comes to Infinite Frontier, and it goes all the way to issue 6. So I guess this is going to be giving you the glimpse, or possibly some of other storylines that are going to be going on in your favorite DC comics. If you read issue 0, you got to see Wonder Woman get a glimpse of the future on what's happening to some of all of our heroes. She declined to stay and watch. She wants to be part of the action, and now she got thrusted into her own book again. But here it's going to take place with all the, I don't know, different versions of your characters. Who knows what Infinite Frontier is going to offer? It's just going to be infinite, right? Who knows? But when it comes to DC Comics, I am looking forward to this, to seeing how the company progresses its line and its characters. I think this is a critical time for DC Comics, and honestly, probably for the comic book industry in general. I think some of these events have to really hit their mark, right? Especially after COVID. You want readers jumping on. So we'll see what happens. So there you guys have it. There are some of the major things that are coming out this summer. Does anything tickle your fancy here? Let me know in the comments below. And if there's something that you want me to really read, I'll take it into consideration. Also leave me the comments in the below. Again, the comment's very important, because if you do leave that comment, you're entered in that Road to 10K X-Men giveaway. So guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell, grab that popcorn, and let's get ready for this summer. I'll leave you more content right here, guys, and I'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye.